Hello everyone, it's Farket here, and in this video, I'm going to provide you with a complete guide to armor in the forest. Now before I get on with the video, I'd like to announce that the microphone I've been advertising is now available. Now this is a microphone I'm using right now, and I've been using for about 9 months. It's been on a long production to get ready. It's been a group effort by me, Panda and Frederick. They've been able to help me set it up in the States, as most of my viewers are in the States. It'll make it a lot easier for most of you to get it. The microphone comes with a full kit, comes with a microphone, pop filter, windscreen, microphone arm, tripod, and a 3-meter cable as well. Now this microphone business is being set up by us and us alone. We control everything. So this isn't a Teespring deal or anything like that. If you live in the United States or Canada, you can buy it on Amazon. For everyone else around the world, you'll have to buy it through the website. Just so you know, there's not many to go around. They were very expensive to produce. And once they're all gone, it's going to take a few months to get more due to the virus. So if you want to support me and to help prevent me going down the route of doing crappy promotions for things I don't like, then this is the way. Anyway, back to armor. Now armor is basically just health. So if you put on a piece of bone armor, which has 40 armor, that's basically giving you 40 health. At max bone armor, you got 400 armor. So with your 100 health and your 400 armor, basically got 500 health. With a max of mutant armor having 800, it gives you 900 health. Stealth reduces the chances that you can be detected. So it can be good for sneaking around a bit more. It can help with getting stealth kills and sleep kills. And then cold armor is the most confusing one, though it's probably the most useless one, but you can only have 20 or 100 cold armor now. It used to vary because you could wear deer skin back in the day, but they removed that. There's only the rabbit fur boots and the warm suit now. But let's get into the nits and grits of it. Now technically there's only 5 types of armor. There's lizard armor, stealth armor, bone armor, mutant armor, and the warm suit. The warm suit is a complete piece, meaning it takes up all 10 slots. The rest only take up 1 slot, so you can wear 10 of these. You're not limited to wearing all stealth armor, for example. Now lizard armor is just wearing the lizard skin. That provides 20 armor and no cold or stealth. Next is stealth armor. That provides 20 armor also, but it provides 10 stealth on normal and hard and 5 stealth on hard survival. Hard survival has a stealth nerf. You can only have a max of 50 stealth. I don't really know why they put that in there, because stealth isn't that good as it is, but it's there, so it's something to keep in mind. But it's extremely weak versus fire damage. If you catch on fire while you're wearing it, you take about 3 times as much damage to the armor anyway. So on hard survival with the extra fire damage, if you get caught on fire with max stealth armor, you're going to lose all but 1 piece of it. Whereas if it was lizard armor, you'd only lose 4 pieces. But that's hard survival. Next is bone armor. That provides 40 armor and no cold or stealth. There's a rumor that's been going around pretty much since I've been playing this game, is that wearing bone armor makes the enemies more aggressive, though I don't think this is true. There's no indication of that, though it would be a neat feature though. And then there's mutant armor, and that provides 80 armor, no cold or stealth. This has double the armor of bone armor. And then there's the warm suit. Now this one's unique because it actually doesn't provide any armor at all, but because it provides no armor, it's indestructible or invulnerable. I don't know which one's the proper term, but it provides 100 cold armor and no stealth. Now what happens when you wear 100 cold armor is that you can't get cold, which means you can't take cold damage, which is kind of handy, especially if you're building up in the snow. And the images above is obviously every version of the player wearing that type of armor. Some look better than others. Bone armor is the only one that has a headpiece, so it's not included here because of reasons. The reason is that when you're using Mod API in the Ultimate Cheat menu, if you zoom out, you can't see your head. If you're on multiplayer, you can, but I just forgot when I was recording it, and these were manually cropped images, so they took a long time. Now all of these are relatively easy to make. The warm suit is by far the most difficult item to make in the game, though it's a one-off craft. Once you've crafted it, you've got it. You can't lose it. The rabbit fur boots are quite expensive as well, though that's only around the start of the game. This is extracted from the wiki. I made the template for these on the wiki, and these are my images, so I can put this up here. I'm not stealing anyone's work but my own. To get mutant armor, you need to kill one of the 6 mutants in the game. Well, technically there's only 4, but they're rehashes. There's the Armsy, Virginia, Cowman, Grey Armsy, Grey Virginia or Blue Armsy and Blue Virginia, and the Girl Mutant. And the Girl Mutant only appears after you've completed the game on a certain ending, the one that allows you to continue playing. Sorry if that spoils anything for you, but it's kind of important information. Now you only get 1 piece for each of these, except for the Girl Mutant. She drops 3. When you kill them, you can go up to them and cut the skin off them like you do with the animals. Except for the Girl Mutant, she just drops it on the ground, so you have to pick it up. You have to sort through all the limbs and pieces of her after you finish killing her. Yeah, so make sure you pick up all 3 pieces. Sometimes there might be 2. I actually thought it was 2. And I'm going back and re-recording this because I thought it was 2, but it's actually 3. Though that might be a difficulty thing. Damn it. Oh, I hate this. You should have tested that. Hard survival might only give you 2. but I can't even remember what I recorded this on. Was this normal? Or was this hard, killing this girl? I've got no idea. And she's actually one of the easiest mutants to kill if you've got the flare gun. Even on hard survival, it just wrecks her because you can't miss and it just makes her go apeshit. It's great. Hopefully I didn't spoil anything for you. This is important information to know. Make sure you pick up both those armors. Now to show you proof that armor is just health. On normal, you take 32 damage from fire. That's 4 ticks of 8. Using the mutant armor, it doesn't remove the entire piece. This is the most confusing part, and why I probably have to make this video to explain it, is that when armor takes damage, it doesn't show it, though it's there. It's in the code. And this is why sometimes if you're stocking up on armor, you'll use a piece even though you already had a piece there. It's because one of those pieces was damaged. It will only ever be one of those pieces, so it's not a big deal. Whether it's a waste or not, well, it could be. Depends if you're desperate. If you're able to get full stack of 10 armor, you're probably not desperate. Now, even if the armor takes even the smallest amount of damage, like I stepped on a fire and jumped in the water straight away, so that was 8 damage of the 40 armor, so I would have brought it down to 32. It doesn't matter. It still gets removed. I'm going to show you the hard survival fire damage tests. With max stealth armor, I've got 200 armor and only 50 stealth. So if you step on a fire with it, normally you'll take 80 damage, 4 ticks of 20. But with the extra fire damage you take, which I don't know exactly what it would be, you've taken 180 armor damage. Normally you'd only take 80. So my guess is that it's around 250%, but you know me, I'm terrible with math. So if you plan to use stealth armor, don't get yourself caught on fire. It's really bad. You're gonna lose your whole set, and that's annoying. So use stealth armor wisely. Remember to take it off and use your other armor and stuff. Now with bone armor, if you step in a fire, you'll just take the standard 80. If you can see what I mean, armor is just health. That doesn't negate damage like in some games. If you have 100 armor and 100 health, if you get hit, you'll probably take 5 damage on your health and say 10 on your armor. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't split it. Though I'm going to roll the rest of them. I'm going to explain what armor negates the damage from. So obviously it negates the damage from fire, which is probably a bit unrealistic. I haven't seen that in many games. We take it as a bonus, I guess. Though armor can help prevent damage from enemies mainly. There are certain things it doesn't negate the damage from, such as falling or drowning, though I'm not sure why though. So if you're taking fall damage or you're taking drowning damage, it's just going to directly affect your health and it's not going to affect the armor. And while I'm saying this, I'm trying to think of what else armor prevents damage from, because I don't write scripts for videos, and I probably should with this instance. Yeah, probably explosives, that's another one that damages your armor. Oh, any poisonous food, that directly affects your health. Your armor doesn't affect it, though I'm also not sure why. Now, mutant armor also received a massive debuff as well. It used to provide twice as much as what it does now, so it was just completely overkill, even on hard survival. Now, this is a test I did that I think is quite useful to know, just to give you an indication of how tough some of this armor can be. In this case, mutant armor. On normal and hard mode with full mutant armor, take a guess at how long you can stand on this fire for. Clocked in at 4 minutes and 40 seconds. That's how long you can stand on fire for with that armor. That's how tough that crap is. On hard survival, it's a little bit different. You can only stand on the fire for 1 minute and 50 seconds. So fire damage is quite a bit more, though a minute and 50 seconds is still a long ass time, man. But that's all there is to know about armor. It's just health, and it protects you against most sources. So it's health. Armor is health. So I could have just made this video 5 seconds saying armor is health and then closed it off. But I thought I'd show you everything there is about it. There isn't really much to say about stealth in this video because there's no way to really measure it. I mean, you could do a lot of tests in different environments, like trying to hide and see if they pick you up and that sort of stuff. Though it probably deserves its own video. It would require a lot more testing. Obviously, the more stealth you've got, the more likely you are to be hidden. If you're able to hide in bushes, you know, hard survival is going to affect that if you only get 50% max. There's also the dirt pile, which I haven't been able to find to figure out how much stealth it gives you, but I think it gives you 10 stealth, then maybe 5 on hard survival. You might as well pick them up. It's only a temporary buff. I think I would need someone looking at the code of stealth to figure out what actually goes on. But in this clip here, there's a bug in the game that when you change the game difficulty, it doesn't automatically react. I've changed it here. On the first page, I've got 100 stealth. If I close the book and open it up again with hard survival stats, it goes to 50, but it doesn't show the calories in that. So changing difficulty can be done, though that probably deserves its own video because there's probably bugs that are going to be involved. Now, moving on to cold armor and cold damage and warmth and insulation and all that sort of stuff. Now, cold armor is not a great word for it. What I think might have been a better word would be insulation, because I think insulation is the word that's referenced to keeping something warm inside. something. I don't know why my mind just went sexual then, but it did. So when you're cold, a few things happen. You shake and ugly cold water comes around the edge of the screen. And if you stand still for long enough, you'll take cold damage. You also receive an energy drain. I did a timer on it. And after about 8 minutes and 15 seconds or so, being cold, my energy drained by 50. When I wasn't cold, it drained by 25. So it drains 100% faster by the looks of it. If by the time I hit 10 energy, because you can't ever go below 10 energy, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to move or do anything, which is probably more realistic, though it would be like green hell and just absolutely annoying and too realistic. By the time you hit 10 energy as cold, you'd only reach 60 while you weren't cold. But energy is actually really easy to get, so it's not a big deal. It's probably just more of an annoying thing. And you don't really need cold armor if you've got a fire torch out or if you're next to a fire pit or any fire pretty much. The lighter doesn't affect that though. Now, while I was testing this, is something actually worth noting, and I thought I'd test this while I was here. That's not relevant to what I'm actually showing you. When you're starving, when you've got no food, your energy drain goes 500% faster. So if you're cold as well, you'd probably get about 600% drain in energy. It's super fast, eh? Like you can barely notice it when you're cold, but when you're starving, yeah, you really notice it. But if you've got a couple of berries on hand, or a couple of mushrooms or anything like that, you should be fine. Even energy mixes and stuff can actually provide a little bit. Now, moving on to rabbit fur boots, in the inventory, it states that it provides stealth. If you open up the survival guide, it shows that it provides 20 cold armor, but no stealth. And what does 20 cold armor do? Well, it doesn't do a lot. Without rabbit fur boots, you can stand still for 9 seconds before you take cold damage. With rabbit fur boots, you can stand still for 11 seconds. So you got an extra 2 seconds of standing still before you take cold damage. I know this doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're trying to say, open up the inventory and quickly craft something while you're cold, or you're cutting down a tree and you forget to move, these things can matter. So it's not huge, but when you take those things into account, those extra couple of seconds can be quite helpful. And I think it does reduce the time it takes to get cold as well, though I don't know how to test that because the environment's changed. I don't know what's actually going on in the environment. Say if it's in the snow, there's different types of snow. There's snow that makes it look like there's no snow, but it's actually filling up your water collectors and it's making you cold. It's confusing. Now I tested how far you can be away from a fire before you become uncold or not cold, and it's a fairly good distance. It's about 3 or 4 meters, or about 1/16 of a football field, but I'm just guessing there. I've got no idea how long a football field is for Americans. Now I tested normal and hard survival cold damage times, so like standing still, and it's 9 seconds for both of them. Obviously if you got rabbit fur boots on, it will increase the time to 11 seconds before you take damage. So yeah, rabbit fur boots are probably nowhere near as good as they used to be. They used to provide stealth. Don't know why they don't anymore. Reasons, I guess. A lot of bugs in the game. I think it might be an oversight. But on normal mode, you take 5 damage every time you take cold damage. And on hard survival, you take 25 damage every time you take cold damage. So the amount is 5 times more, which is a lot. 4 ticks and you're dead on hard survival. And armor doesn't stop that damage. Well, normal armor, the warm suit does. It negates all of it. And just to note that that's the only things that cold does, is that it drains your energy faster. If you stand still, you take cold damage, and that's pretty much it. And some unpleasant effects like you're shaking, you go blue, and your screen border goes all cold. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Even on hard survival, just don't stand still for too long. When you're cutting down trees, move around, like side to side. Even one little step will reset the timer. One little step, like a little shuffle, if you will. Next, I'm going to go on to snowshoes because that's something that I thought I should test. And God, this pissed me off, is that it didn't do anything. Well, it turns out it does. But I had to get Oclexi to test it because I was too frustrated by it. That beautiful British man found out that it increases your movement speed by 30% only if you're walking in the snow. So yes, snowshoes increase your speed if you're walking, because we walk everywhere, don't we? Who uses run? What are we, peasants? Come on. So yes, the snowshoes are a bit of a waste. Another sort of item that is very underwhelming. In the snow, you should probably just stick to the rabbit fur boots because that gives you an extra 20 cold armor. If you're using the warm suit, the rabbit fur boots are completely redundant because you've already got max cold armor. So what do? I mean, obviously, if you're going to be building in the snow, you're going to switch between combat, so you're going to switch between armor. So you might be best using the rabbit fur boots just for when you do the switch, you got an extra 2 seconds and a little bit more time to not get cold, I'm guessing. With snowshoes, how often do you walk around? And on the snow. If you've got a house, you're going to be walking in the house most of the time. You might be using zip lines to get in and out because you probably will, because the snow doesn't have many resources. It has no stick trees. Once you cut down all the trees, they stop regenerating sticks, so you're going to have to go on a hike and a half to go get those sticks. That's up to you. They're both pretty piss poor options, but there are options nonetheless. Now, I was going to cover this in depth in this video, the fire damage bug. That happened to me in Season 5 though. I made a video a few days before this one, and I'll put a link to it in this video. Though if you get the bug, it makes fire damage do over 600 per hit instead of 20 on hard survival. So yeah, hopefully you don't get that bug. Here's some other information that I forgot while making this video. I'm adding it in now. The best way to make stealth armor is from crocodiles. They give 4 lizard skin each. 2 weak spear throws will kill them. So it's a very easy way to get stealth armor or lizard armor. Though remember that crocodiles do bite. Speaking of animals, animal attacks actually ignore armor, so they'll damage your health directly. So it doesn't matter if you've got max mutant armor, 2 bites from a shark on hard survival will kill you. For getting bones, a full cannibal will give you 6 bones, and 1 skull, but that's not relevant to armor. You get 1 bone for each limb, 2 for the legs, 2 for the arms, and you get 2 bones for the torso. Hitting dead worms with a melee weapon will also drop some bones as well. You can get limbs off effigies and they can be burnt on a fire or eaten, and that will give you 1 bone. You only carry 15 bones though, and there's no bone bag, so you'll probably need a lot of bone baskets. If you die without losing armor, such as eating poisonous food or dying to a crocodile, you'll wake up in the cave with still all your armor on. You don't lose it. Though if you die in the water or to a shark, you die permanently. If you're looking for leaves for your stealth armor, use an upgraded stick or a repair tool on the bushes or stick trees. It'll give you a lot of leaves. Upgraded stick will provide more leaves, but that uses stamina. Tennis racket's also good as well. If you want to know what the meme song was, search on YouTube Earthbound Sanctuary Guardian. Now in conclusion, and these are my tips for pretty much navigating all of this, bone armor is good, but you'll chew through a lot of cloth, and that cloth could be used for things like rope for making zip lines. If you're relying on bone armor, just keep an eye on your cloth amount. You will chew through a lot, and I've done that in Season 7. Next is armor is very important on hard and hard survival. On normal, not so much. Normal's that easy that you can just get around using the katana. But if you don't have armor on hard or hard survival, 3 hits from a cannibal will kill you. Next is that mutant armor is obviously the best. Kill as many mutants as you can, though avoid drowning them, because if they drown or die in the water, there's a good chance you won't be able to get their mutant armor. And also keep an eye out for the girl mutant. She's worth a lot of mutant armor. Next is make a few armor racks and bone baskets and those sort of things. You want to stay on top of keeping a surplus of these things like bones and extra armor pieces, because there will be times that you will be in combat and it won't go so well, and you could lose a full set of armor easy, especially bone armor, not so much mutant armor. That stuff's tough as nails, mate. Next is that the warm suit isn't really needed. Rabbit fur boots are good enough, I think. If you're building in the snow, you probably do want the warm suit, though it leaves you with no armor, making you very vulnerable to dying. Lastly is that stealth armor is good if you're doing stealthy things, otherwise don't bother with it, unless it's all you have. It's good to keep a set for stealthy operations. And just for some more clarification on how hard and hard survival can be. For each cannibal you kill, you get 6 bones. Those 6 bones can make 1 piece of bone armor. If you get hit by a normal cannibal, it will remove that bone armor because it does 40 damage. So getting hit once is basically taking away 1 full kill, if that makes sense. Don't get hit. You gotta learn to dodge. This is why I don't like the katana, because you don't learn to dodge with it. It seriously is a noob's weapon. Now, that's all I have for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I should be able to get to them. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers.